Dear you, I've been thinking about how many times I called something potential when what I really meant was hope. Not the hopeful kind that feels light, the heavy kind, the kind you carry quietly like a purse that gets heavier the longer you hold it. I didn't always fall for people. Sometimes I fell for moments, conversations that felt promising, good mornings that arrived consistently until they didn't. There were dinners that felt intimate but led nowhere. Late night talks that sounded like honesty but never turned into action. Men who were kind but unavailable. Present but not choosing. I told myself I was being patient, understanding, mature. But patience, I've learned, can sometimes look a lot like self-abandonment when you're the only one waiting. I remember thinking, if I just explain myself better, if I give it more time, if I don't pressure the moment, because I didn't want to seem difficult or demanding or like someone who wanted too much. But wanting clarity isn't asking for too much. It's asking the right person. And still, I stayed longer than I should have because part of me believed love was something you endure first before you enjoy it. There was one relationship that taught me this the clearest. He wasn't cruel. That's what made it confusing. He listened. He showed up sometimes. He spoke about the future in soft, careful sentences, just vague enough to keep me hopeful. We existed in almosts, almost committed, almost serious, almost chosen. I learned his patterns before I learned his intentions. How he would pull close when I pulled away. How he went quiet when I asked real questions. And I adjusted myself, smoothed my edges, lowered my expectations just enough to keep the peace. I told myself love was flexible. But what I was really doing was folding myself smaller. There were other men too, different faces, same lesson. One who loved the idea of me but not the responsibility. One who admired my strength but resented my standards. One who wanted companionship, not partnership. I collected these experiences like quiet warnings I didn't want to read, because walking away felt like failure, and staying felt like hope. So I stayed, even when my body knew before my heart did that this wasn't safe love, just familiar love. The moment I left wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no slammed doors, just a sentence that landed too clearly to ignore. I don't know what I want right now. He said it gently, almost apologetically, and something in me finally heard it. Not as confusion, but as truth. I realized I had been negotiating with someone else's uncertainty while ignoring my own clarity. I wanted consistency, presence, a love that didn't require me to disappear in order to survive it. So I did the bravest thing I had done in a long time. I chose myself without asking permission. I walked away, not because he was a bad man, but because he wasn't my man. And that distinction mattered. I went home that night and cried, not because I missed him, but because I was grieving the version of myself who believed love was supposed to hurt first. I prayed quietly, not for him to change, but for me to never confuse uncertainty with destiny again. Love doesn't make you anxious about your place. Love doesn't keep you guessing. Love doesn't require you to audition for belonging. Real love feels steady, even when it's imperfect. It feels mutual, chosen, and sometimes the lesson isn't about who stayed. It's about who you finally stopped waiting for. I don't regret the relationships that didn't work. They showed me my patterns, my patience, my resilience, but more importantly, they showed me my worth. Now, when something doesn't feel aligned, I don't force understanding. I listen, because peace is a form of confirmation, and walking away isn't loss when it leads you back to yourself. Dear you, if you've stayed too long before, you're not weak. You were learning, and now you know better.